Jai Shri Padkashi Shri Guru Gaura Chandraju Ki Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribhajaka Acharya Astatara Siddha Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribhajaka Acharya Astatara Siddha Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dharadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Caitanya Saraswati Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. And sorry for my absence yesterday, but we had a nice reading. Bye. Morning. Hari Prabhu. So continuing now, Sri Caitanya Charitamrta. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Haribol. Jai Shri Caitanya Charitamrta Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnupadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Continuing, this is the chapter of Anjali, the chapter 2, the chastisement of Junior Haridas. This is our text number 76. Akadina Shabate Prabhu Bhata Chalaila Nishinga Nandera Guna Kahite Lagila. One day, in the presence of all the devotees, the Lord raised these topics concerning Nishingananda Brahmachari and praised his transcendental qualities. Gatavarshe Poshe More Karaila Bojan Kabunahi Kai Aiche Mishtana Vyanjana. The Lord said, last year in the month of Posha, when Nishingananda gave me varieties of sweetmeats and vegetables to eat, they were so good that I felt I had never before eaten such preparations. So good meaning, of course, expert in every level, expert in devotion, expert in all ways. Shuni Bhakta Ganamane Ashchaja Manila Shivanandera Manitabe Pratyaya Janmila. Hearing this, all the devotees were struck with wonder, and Shivananda became confident that the incident was true. So Shivananda saying, had some doubt, and then he was convinced. E mata shachi grihe shatata bojana Shrivasera grihe karena kirtana darashana. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to eat at the temple of Shachimata every day and also visit the house of Srivas Thakur when kirtan was performed. So we are hearing about how the different ways in which Mahaprabhu associates with others. And one of them is that he makes his appearance. And he's always, again, the 4 places where Mahaprabhu is always appearing. And that is, you can say a couple of them?
Yes. Where Nityananda is dancing in an ecstatic way.
Very nice.
In the house of Sachi Devi.
Yes.
In the house of Shiva's Pandit.
Yes, in the courtyard when there's
In the
kirtan
courtyard.
going on.
When there's kirtan going
Yes.
on. And then in another house.
And the Raghava Pandit.
Raghava Pandit.
Okay. All right. Nityanandera nritya dekena ashi bare bare nirantara abhirbhava raghavera gare. Similarly, he was always present when Nityananda Prabhu danced, and he regularly appeared in the house of Raghava. Premavasha Gaura Prabhu Jaha Premotama Premavasha Hanya Taha Dena Darashana. Lord Gaurasundar is greatly influenced by the love of his devotees. Therefore, wherever there is pure devotion to the Lord himself, subdued by such love, appears, and his devotees see him. So Nishingananda Brahmachari cooked many, many things, and then he offered the dishes to Lord Jagannath. He made 3 different plates, one for Lord Jagannath, one for Lord Nishingadev, who is his worshipable deity, and one for Mahaprabhu. But then in his meditation, Mahaprabhu took everything. And then to confirm this, for Shivananda Sain, I just want to come here again, just really quickly. All right. Okay, so Lord, then Nishingananda Brahmachari said, after eating all the offerings, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started for Panihati. All right, but Shivananda said, Nishingananda, why are you expressing dismay? He's saying, why I see on your face you are feeling disturbed or unhappy. Nishingananda replied, just to see the behavior of your Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why I'm unhappy. It's because of the behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He alone has eaten the offerings for all 3 deities. Because of this, Lord Jagannath and Nishingadev remained fasting. When Shivananda Sain heard this statement, he was not sure whether Nishingananda Brahmachari was speaking that way because of ecstatic love, or because it was actually a fact. And then, again, Nishingananda cooked again, and then when the Lord came, he was saying, oh, Nishingananda, he cooked for me this time in this month, and it was such a love. And then Shivananda, it was so wonderful, I felt like I'd never eaten those preparations before. And then Shivananda Sain's doubt were doubts, meaning couldn't understand what was if it was just some mad talk out of ecstatic love, or this was actually happened. And now he could understand that it actually happened, because ostensibly Mahaprabhu was not there. This was all just in the meditation of Nishingananda Brahmachari. And so now he said, yes, I came there, and he cooked so many beautiful things. Then Shivananda understood that he was appearing. So that is one of the ways in which Mahaprabhu is associating with others. Shivanandera prema sima ke kahite pare, jara preme vasa prabhu aise bare bare. Influenced by the loving affairs of Shivananda Sain, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came again and again. Therefore, who can estimate the limits of his love? Dandavat.
Just making garlands.
Okay. Eta kahila gaure ravir bhava, iha shune jane Chaitanya prabhava. Thus I have described the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who hears about these incidents can understand the transcendental opulence of the Lord. So people sometimes talk about opulence, right? But this is transcendental opulence. Purushottame Prabhupashe Bhagavanacharya Parama Vaishnavateho Spandita Arya. At Jagannath Puri, in the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, lived Bhagavanacharya. So Bhagavanacharya lived in Puri with Mahaprabhu.
Bhagavanacharya.
Yes. And he was certainly a gentleman, a great learned scholar and a great devotee. And there's more description of Bhagavanacharya in the Adi Leela. Sakya Bhava Kranta Chitta Gopa Avatara Swarupa Gosai Saha Sakya Vyavahara. He was fully absorbed in thoughts of fraternal relationships with God. He was an incarnation of a cowherd boy, and thus his dealings with Swarup Damodar Goswami were very friendly. So, this Bhagavanacharya is actually a cowherd boy, and he's coming in the past time. You don't have your feet on your computer, do you?
No.
Like, what? Sorry. I don't even know why I asked you that. So they were both, of course, Damodar is, this divine form of Sri Lalita Devi, Bhagavanacharya is a cowherd boy. They were very, very intimately, had a very friendly relationship. Ekanta bhave Arya Chena Caitanya Charana Maje Maje Prabhu Teho Karena Nimantrana. He sought the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet with full surrender. Sometimes he would invite the Lord to dine at his home. Kare bata kari karena vivita vyanjana ekale gosai lanya karana bhojana. Bhagavanacharya prepared varieties of rice and vegetables at home and brought the Lord there alone to eat. Generally, those who invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for dinner used to offer him the remnants of food that had been offered to Lord Jagannath. That was the custom in Puri. Bhagavanacharya, however, instead of giving him the remnants of Jagannath's food, prepared him dinner at home. In Orissa, food offered to Lord Jagannath is called prasadi, and that which is not offered to Jagannath is called amani or gadabat, rice prepared at home. Tarapit, so everybody's calling, there's two different words for food in Orissa. One is prasadi, which means coming from Jagannath. That's how much Lord Jagannath is in the consciousness of everybody. So this is the two words. Prasadi, coming from the temple, prasadam, and gadabata, or what's been prepared at home. Rice, button. Tarapita bishai bada sanata satananandakana bishaya vimuka acharya vairagya pradana. Bhagavanacharya's father, whose name was Satananda Khan, was an expert statesman, whereas Bhagavanacharya was not at all interested in the management of state. Indeed, he was almost in the renounced order of life. You should have a little notebook and all these different personalities. You can write something. Who is Bhagavanacharya? Who is, all these different personalities, Shivananda Sain, Nishingananda, And then you have a book and you can refer, Nishingananda Brahmachari, he was that one. Do you need a notebook?
I do have some notebooks.
Gopal Bhattacharya Nama Tara Chotabai Kashite Vedanta Pari Gela Taratai. Bhagavanacharya's brother, whose name was Gopal Bhattacharya, had studied Vedanta philosophy at Benares and had then returned to Bhagavanacharya's home. So this is his brother, Gopal Bhattacharya. During those days, and also at the present, Vedanta philosophy is understood through the commentary of Shankaracharya, which is known as Sariraka Bhasya. Thus it appears that Gopal Bhattacharya, the younger brother of Bhagavanacharya, had studied Vedanta according to the way of the Sharirakbhasya, which expounds the Mayavad philosophy of the impersonalists. Acharya Tahare Prabhupade Milaila Antarjami Prabhu Chitte Sukhanapaila. Bhagavanacharya took his brother to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the Lord, knowing that Gopal Bhattacharya was a Mayavadi philosopher, could not get much happiness from meeting him. Acharya Sambandhe Bhakye Kade Pritya Basa Krishna Bhakti Bina Prabhura Nahaya Ulasa. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derives no happiness from meeting one who is not a pure devotee of Krishna. Thus, because Gopal Bhattacharya was a Mayavadi scholar, the Lord felt no jubilation in meeting him. Nevertheless, because Gopal Bhattacharya was related to Bhagavanacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feigned pleasure in seeing him. In other words, he was cordial in order, out of love for Gopal Bhattacharya. Swarupa Gosanira Acharya Kahe Aradine Vedanta Padiya Gopala Aisache Akane. Bhagavanacharya said to Swarup Damodar, Gopal, my younger brother, has returned to my home having concluded his study of the Vedanta philosophy. So this is what Bhagavanacharya told Swarup Damodar. Shabe meli Aisha Shunibasya Iharastane Prema Krodakari Swarupa Balaya Vachane. Bhagavanacharya requested Swarup Damodar Goswami to hear from Gopal the commentary upon Vedanta. I think anyway. Swarup Damodar, however, became somewhat angry because of love and spoke as follows. So this Gopalacharya, younger brother of Bhagavanacharya, he wants to recite something about Vedanta philosophy in Swarup Damodar. Buddhi brasta haila tomar gopalera sange mayavara sunibare upajila range. You have lost your intelligence in the association of Gopal, and therefore you are eager to hear the Mayavad philosophy. Oh, excuse me. It was Bhagavanacharya who asked Swarup Damodar to hear something from Gopal. Some commentary on Vedanta. And then Swarup Damodar said, what are you talking about? Vaishnava hanya deva sharirakabhasya shune sevya sevaka bhavachari apnare ishwaramane. When a Vaishnava listens to the Sharirakbhasya, the Mayavad commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, he gives up the Krishna conscious attitude that the Lord is the master and the living entity is his servant. Instead, he considers himself the Supreme Lord. So why would I want to hear that commentary? You've become like a Mayavadi yourself. Of course, that's impossible. This is this conversation. Maha Bhagavata Jai Krishna Pranadana Yara Mayavada Shravane Chitta Avasya Piretara. The Mayavad philosophy presents such a jugglery of words that even a highly elevated devotee who has accepted Krishna as his life and soul changes his decision when he reads the Mayavadi commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Of course, that's not possible at all in the case of these completely divine personalities. However, this is Swarup Damodar saying, even this can happen. But it is true in terms of our position. And this is a good warning. If anyone gets curious and wants to stick a knife in an electrical outlet, then the result will not be very good. It will be detrimental. Because Don't forget, the Sarirak Bhasya is written by Lord Shiva himself, who's in charge of the mode of ignorance. So we don't want to really, Acharya kahe ama shabara Krishna nishta chitte, ama sabara manabasya nare piraite. In spite of Swarup Damodar's protest, Bhagavan Acharya continued, we are all fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna with our hearts and souls. Therefore, the Sharirak Bhasya cannot change our minds. Swarup kahe tatapi mayavada shravane, chit brahma maya mitya e matra shune. Swarup Damodar replied, nevertheless, when we hear the Mayavad philosophy, we hear that Brahman is knowledge and that the universe of Maya is false, but we gain no spiritual understanding. So why do that? Guru Maharaj said that material means exploitation. And devotees are not afraid of the world. Everything they're seeing in relation to the Lord, but they are afraid of renunciation and exploitation. Those things they don't want to hear about. Of course, again, there's no reason to hear anything which is not talking about the absolute reality of Krishna. Jiva Jnana Kalpita Ishware Shakala Agyana Shakala Iya Jnana Jahara Shravane Bhaktera Pate Mana Prana. The Mayavadi philosopher tries to establish that the living entity is only imaginary and that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is under the influence of Maya. Hearing this kind of commentary breaks the heart and life of a devotee. It is too terrible to hear that Krishna is illusory, part of Maya. Maya is supreme. Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami wanted to impress upon Bhagavan Acharya, who's got a very innocent heart. He's thinking, he doesn't know he's presenting this innocently. Swarup Damodar is saying that even though someone firmly fixed in devotion to Krishna's service may not be deviated by hearing the Mayavad Bhasya, that Bhasya is nevertheless full of impersonal words and ideas, such as Brahman, which represents knowledge, but which are impersonal. So he's saying this is not, why would we want to hear this? Lajabaya panya acharya mona haila, aradina gopalere deshi patahila. Thus Bhagavan Acharya, greatly ashamed and fearful, remained silent. The next day he asked Gopal Bhattacharya to return to his own district. He said, you should just go. Akadina Acharya Prabhure Kaila Nimantrana Kare Bhatta Kare Kare Vividha Vyanjana. One day Bhagavan Acharya invited Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to dine at his house, at his home. Thus he was preparing rice and various types of vegetables. Chota Haridasa Nama Prabhura Kirtaniya Tahare Kahena Acharya Dakiya Aniya. A devotee named Chota Haridas used to sing for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhagavan Acharya called him to his home and spoke as follows. So Chota Haridas is also a great Parshad devotee of Mahaprabhu. But in many, many cases, Mahaprabhu is teaching the world through his devotees. And they are accepting that. Through chastising his devotees, he's teaching many, many, many things. The great example, of course, is Arjuna, who momentarily became bewildered, and then after hearing Bhagavad Gita once, became fully restored, whereas we've been reading Bhagavad Gita for so many years, and we're still working on it. But Mahaprabhu utilizes his great devotees to teach us many things. More nama shikimahiti bhagini stanagiya shukla chola ekamana anaha magiya. Please go to the sister of Shikimahiti and in my name ask her for a mana of white rice and bring it here. In India, shukla chola, or white rice, meaning the husk is off, is also called atapa chola, or rice that has not been boiled before being threshed. Another kind of rice called siddha chola, brown rice, is boiled before being threshed. Threshed means that the getting the outer thing off. Generally, first-class fine rice is required for offerings to the deities. Thus, Bhagavan Acharya asked Chota Haridas, or Junior Haridas, a singer in the assembly of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to get some of this rice from the sister of Shikimahiti. A mana is a standard measurement in Orissa for rice and other food grains. So we'll stop here. With trepidation, I'm hearing this story again. I know better. It's not causing me the same kind of heart trouble that it used to. It is still such a strong story, and we'll see. Well, I didn't need to share that, but yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue this tomorrow. So Shikimahiti was a Gurudev once said, I think it was in Sokel ashram when he was visiting. He was saying that in Mahaprabhu, there were the chanters, there were the dancers. You know, these were different types of seva, and those who were who they would offer these different kinds of seva to the Lord, and that really struck me because we're all doing all these things. Of course, we're not expert in anything in terms of, or at least I am not in chanting or dancing or anything expert, meaning with pure devotion. But in any case, Chota Haridas was a great singer. It was his seva to sing, and he sang very beautifully for the deities. We can't mix this up with some mundane singing. I think this word kirtaniya has become a little bit misused in some cases, maybe in some groups. It's not that if you're particularly musical, you become a kirtaniya. There has to be some internal qualification. So we are really more interested in that. And of course, those who can sing should sing for the Lord, and those who can play instruments can play instruments for the Lord. But we're also seeking that we will be in pure devotion, and that this will purify whatever is not devotion in our kirtan. Jai Shri Caitanya Charitamrta ki jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki jai, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Haridev Prabhu? Oh, I just wanted to. Usually he looks at the screen from time to time, and also he sings these with me. I think he went to get a notebook, and he had to go to a store and buy one. Anyway, we'll start.
Just Bima Krishna Prabhu and Kumkum.
Oh, yeah, Dandavat. Sometimes there's a question or comment about the sound or something like that, so he kind of monitors that. Okay, so now we're beginning Upadesamrta. Take it up again, and we are reading the commentary on verse 6. Jai Shri Rupa Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sai Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam Jiva Vegam Udara Pasta Vegam Etan Vegam Yogisheta Dira Sarvam Apimam Pritivim Sasisyat. So here we are, taking a good analytical look at Vacho Vegam, the urge to just can't stop talking. Manasa Vegam, we all know all about that. Kroda Vegam, just everything, anything and everything is causing anger. Jiva Vegam, of course, the tongue. Udarapasta Vegam, the belly and the genitals. Etan Vegam yo vishaheta dhira sarvamapimam pritivim sasisyat. Atyahara prayasascha pradalpa niyamagraha janasangaschalolyam cha sabir bhakti abhinashati. Overaccumulation, over endeavor, unnecessary talk, misapplication of rules, association with non-devotees, and fickle-mindedness. Devotion is destroyed by these 6 faults. So, fickle-mindedness is the opposite of dharya. Dharya, being perseverant, sticking to something, being sober. Utsaha nishchaya dharya tatat karma pravartana sangatyaga sato vritte sadbir bhakti.
Proceed, Yati.
Where were you?
Getting ready.
Oh, where are you going?
Santa Cruz.
Oh, you were leaving today.
Yeah.
What time?
12:30. 12:30, 12:45.
And you had to get ready now.
I went to grab a notebook, but I got distracted by the disorder.
Please. Enthusiasm, conviction, perseverance, engaging in favorable activities, giving up bad association, not getting distracted when you go to your room for something and then it takes you 2 hours to come back. Oh no, that's not in here. That's a different list. Following the conduct of the great
What is the
soul.
Sanskrit for that?
What?
What is the Sanskrit for that?
I'll find it, believe me. Following the conduct of great souls, devotion is nourished by these 6 qualities, so we have to be really careful about this. Tadati pratigrahnati guhyam makyati prichati bhungte bojayate taiva sadvidam priti lakshanam. Giving and accepting gifts, discussing and inquiring about confidential matters, and giving and partaking of foods that are the 6 characteristics of love. And now, number 5. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranati bischa bhajantam isham shishushaya bhajana vigyam ananyamanya nindari shunya hitamipshita shangalabhya. Honor within the mind those who chant Krishna's name. Honor with obeisances those who are initiated and serve the Lord. And honor with service those who are expert in devotion, who are exclusively devoted, and whose hearts are free from the duality of criticizing and praising others, and who are the most desirable association. And now number 6. Tishtrai svabhava janite vapushas chadoshe na prakritatvam iha bhakta janasya pashed gangam vasam na kalu budbuddha pena panke brahmadravatvam apagachita niradharmai. Do not consider devotees in this world mundane. Oh, I heard a very nice class yesterday that I'll mention now about this. A very fine point about this. Do not consider devotees in this world mundane because of faults in their nature and body. We're talking about, of course, great souls who will come and may show many different characteristics. Those great personalities are never to be judged in any way, in any kind of mundane way, ever. The water of the Ganges never loses its spiritual nature because of bubbles, foam, and mud, which are natural in water. So one person was asking Srila Guru Maharaj, I just want to remember the question really well. So someone was making a movie about Srila Prabhupada, or writing a biography, it was writing a biography, and about his birth. They were saying, should there be that much about his birth and growing up and all these things? And Guru Maharaj said, that's okay, but you have to understand that he is not an ordinary person taking birth. He's not ordinary in any way. So you can't make something as though it's an ordinary mundane thing about him. And then there was another part about this, that when, these difficulties, these are things that I thought about, because I saw a movie about Srila Prabhupada once that had been made, and there was all this sad music and all this dramatic music when Srila Prabhupada, he had several heart attacks on the Jaladuta, and then he came to New York, and at first, he was just living in the Bowery of New York City, the very, bad part of, and he, there were many struggles, and he wasn't finding a way to establish his preaching. But it was all said in a very, dramatic and way. And I didn't like that personally. It's not like that. He's always in ecstatic love of Krishna. He's not feeling mundane emotions. And it's a very, very important thing for us to keep this in mind always. And not superimpose or project some kind of mundane feeling onto these personalities. Never. There's sometimes, actually one time when we were in Sokel Ashram, sometimes Srila Gurudev very mercifully allowed me to give him medicine, some kind of homeopathic medicine. And one day I was feeling some distress. I was trying to find one remedy that I could give. And Guru Maharaj said, Gurudev said, you have to remember that the Guru is showing illness. He in his heart, in his inner self, is not feeling any disturbance. This is not like a mundane thing. It is sometimes there. These things are natural in water, bubbles, foam, and mud. And in the body there may be some thing. But this is not disturbing to them in the same way that it's disturbing to a conditioned soul. And he gave me this instruction. And a couple of other instructions also at the same time. But so, this was very appropriate that I heard this yesterday, and we're studying this kind of subject. So we've been just reading how Mahaprabhu was embracing Sanatana Goswami, although Sanatana Goswami was covered with oozing sores. When Sanatana Goswami came to Benares and inquired about Mahaprabhu, he came to know that the Lord was at the house of the physician Chandrasekhar. After taking a peek, Sanatana passed by the front of the house and took his seat on the other side. Mahaprabhu had a peep and could recognize Sanatana in his poor dress, but Sanatana Goswami could not venture to enter the house. Oh, this is when Sanatana Goswami first arrived. And in Benares, he was dressed like a Muslim mendicant, because those were his clothes. Because he worked for the Muslim government by force, and of course he had to dress like that. So when he ran away from the prison, he was dressed like that, and then of course he had to travel so much, and he was, had a beard, and and he saw inside the house. This means he took he saw a peep of Mahaprabhu, but he didn't come and stay in the front of the house. And then Mahaprabhu also saw him for a second. After taking a peek, Sanatana passed in front of the house and took his seat on the other side. Mahaprabhu had a peep and could recognize Sanatana in his poor dress, but Sanatana Goswami could not venture to enter the house. He came to see Mahaprabhu, but he was so humble, he couldn't enter directly. He simply passed by the gate and sat on the other side. Mahaprabhu said to Chandrasekhar, "There's a sadhu outside the door. Please call him here." Chandrasekhar went out and cast his glance to this side and that, but he did not see any sadhu. He came back and said, "There is no sadhu there. Is anyone there?" "Yes, there's a bearded dervish, perhaps a Muslim fakir, seems to be sitting outside. Please call him here." I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm not going to try anymore. A Muslim, maybe preacher or something like that. Seems to be sitting outside. Please call him here. So they're just seeing he saw Swami looking like a Muslim mendicant. And he said, there's no sadhu, there's just a Muslim mendicant out there. Very highly pleased. I'll say, Prabhu Tamaya Bolaya Ai Sadaravesha Shuni Anande Sanatana Karila Pravesha. Chandrasekhar went out and said, "My Lord is calling for you. Come in, you fortunate mendicant." Very highly pleased, Sanatana entered and fell flat on the ground. Mahaprabhu came down from the veranda to welcome Sanatana. He came to embrace him, but Sanatana moved back. No, don't touch me. I'm so mean, meaning low. Mean and now has come to be associated with rather cruel behavior, but mean actually just means low, a low character, low. Don't touch me, I'm so mean, I'm so low, I am untouchable. Please do not touch me, my Lord. Prabhu kahe Thomas pashi atma pavitrite bhakti bale paratume brahmananda sodite. This answer then came from the lips of Mahaprabhu. No, Sanatana, you want to hide yourself from me? I will touch you for my own purification. You have such a type of devotion in your heart that you can purify not only me, but the whole of the world. You can purify the whole solar system, the whole universe. Such devotion is in your heart, Sanatana. So for my selfish purpose, I want to touch and welcome you. In this way, Mahaprabhu forcibly embraced him. Are you following? Okay. Krishna showed another example of honoring his devotee in the Mahabharata when the Rajasuya Yagya of Maharaj Yudhisthira was finished. This is a very, very nice story. Prabhu. This is a very nice story. You heard the other story or not? Krishna foretold, When the sacrifice is finished, the bell will ring automatically. Then you will know that the sacrifice has been completed. Everything was finished, but the bell did not ring. Bhima said to Krishna, you said that the bell will ring automatically, but it has not rung. But the whole sacrifice is finished. No, one thing is still remaining. What is that? The Vaishnava Seva, the service to the Vaishnavas. What are you saying? So many munis and rishis like Narad and Vyas, as well as you yourself, have all been satisfied with good food, but you say Vaishnava Seva has not been completed? Yes. Where is the Vaishnava? Go to the outskirts of the town. There you'll find a man of the lowest caste. He does not go anywhere. He is satisfied taking the name of the Lord, going on in his own way. He does not care for the world and is somehow or other passing his time. He has complete devotion. So Bhima and Arjuna went with a chariot to receive him and found an ordinary poor man of the lowest class. Not even, just like a Sudra person, just sitting very, very poor. With folded palms, they came to take him to the palace. But he was perplexed. So many big men have come in my cottage. What is the matter? He was very panic-stricken. What happened? Big men, Arjuna, Bhima, very important personalities and, big presence. And he's just this poor. Yeah. It was then explained to him, we have come for you. You must come and take some food. Then what could he do? He could not avoid it. He had to come. Draupadi, who is the wife of all the Pandavas, she herself cooked very beautifully. She cooked in various ways many palatable things. She thought, Vaishnava Seva has not been done. So many rishis and munis and even Lord Krishna had been fed, but the Vaishnava Seva is not complete. So with all her might, she prepared various types of cooked foods. Then the man was given the food and he took it, but the bell did not ring. What's the matter? Bhishma asked. It is finished, but the bell did not ring. So this Vaishnava who had been, of course, Krishna knew he's there. He's fully devoted to Krishna. Krishna knows. Said, bring him, and you feed him very, very nicely. Vaishnava Seva generally refers to feeding. But the bell didn't ring. Krishna said there must have been some offense of the Vaishnava Seva. That is why the bell did not ring. What do you say? Did you have any doubts about him? Did any of you have any ill thoughts of him? They asked one another if anyone had any evil thought about him. And at last Draupadi came to admit, I had something in my mind. This man is low-born. I prepared so many curries with the utmost kindness and skill. But the man put all the curries together. He mixed everything up in one mix and ate them. He does not know how to eat properly. Because he comes from a very low caste, I had this in my mind. Krishna said, here is some contempt against a Vaishnava. So the bell has not rung. What could they do? They had no other way but to go to him again and bring him back. They went and again he was fed. And this time all waited with great respect as he took prasadam. And the bell rang. This story makes me cry. And the bell rang with every mouthful. The bell kept ringing and ringing and ringing. Most successful conclusion to this huge sacrifice. Nobody can conceive of this type of sacrifice, the Rajasuya sacrifice. It went on for so many days. Demigods, It's an inconceivable thing. Palaces were built for each and every person. I mean, it's not possible to conceive of these things. But it was not successful until that great pure Vaishnava was fed with complete love and respect, although externally he was not at all qualified. Demigods were there, Vyasadeva, Narada Muni, and still it was not complete until this Vaishnava of this type of heart was fully given full love and respect. So this is the internal opulence of a person, of a Vaishnava. It doesn't matter what the outer thing is doing. It doesn't matter at all. Very beautiful story. I have to remember to tell the children this story someday. This type of example is found. The Niskinchan, the surrender, do not want anything. No fame, no name, nothing of the kind. They are satisfied with anything and whole self dedicated to the Lord. They may be found anywhere without any show of outer grandeur. And actually, after the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada, when we went to see Srila Guru Maharaj was, Srila Prabhupada was very grand. He was the leader of this incredible worldwide mission. And he spoke very strongly and traveled around the world so many times and spoke to great assemblies and scholars who all bowed to him. Very grand. And then we saw Guru Maharaj, and and his clothes were always very perfect. He presented everything in this kind of way. And wonderful personality, Srila Prabhupada. But when we saw Guru Maharaj, he's very simple. His clothes are wrinkled. He's got some hat on his head, and taking, just sitting on a little, just sitting in Navadvip, just on some little chair, Actually, his chair was a little bit big, but it was simple, very simple. No Vyasasan, nothing like it. And super simple. And at first we think, because our idea of an acharya is like that, like Prabhupada. And then we had to realize, oh no, that is the external. It's this outer, what he is showing as his service, but internally, they're like both so inconceivably exalted. So I'm just saying that was a slight adjustment at first. That didn't take that long, like maybe a few minutes. But at first it was just taking, and he's speaking kind of quietly, whereas Prabhupada is always, and smashing this, and So, we don't want to be distracted by the external thing. Every Vaishnava has his own quality. And we're hearing about so many Vaishnavas in the Caitanya Charitamrta. And they have so many qualities. If we want to make this little, what do you call it? Just a little stamp, that this is what a Vaishnava looks like, we will be very much mistaken. Well, this is a very wonderful thing, Jai. All right. Jai Shri Upadesamrta ki Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Because really, he gave us our first Upadesamrta. That little book. Very sweet book, though. Really, I recommend it. Read it. And we have our own bigger book. I can't understand why this book is so light. It's bewildering to me. It should weigh quite a lot. It's really big, but it's as light as a feather. Could you give me some kartals, please?
Do you prefer the drum or kartals?
I'll take some kartals, please. Thank you. It's a little awkward sitting like this and playing the drums.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shmadhusudana Giridhari Gopinath Samodhana Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gauravata Vrinda Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Jai Gosai Chara Jahote Vinana Savista Purana Jai Gosai Chara Dasavara Patrenu Mora Panchagrasa Sadhura Charana Sevi Vata Sanivasa Janame Janame Mora Eya Vilasa Jai Gosai Jave Vraje Kuilavasa Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Gorila Prakasha Anande Voro Hari Vaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Parimata Ijamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Para Padma Kuriyasha Harinama Sankirtana Kohe Narottamadasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Jai Srimati Sri Lekha D.D. Jai Jai
Jai.
Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Radhe Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Charitamrta Charya Vrinda Ki Jai
Jai.
Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Charya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Narottam Shamananda Shri Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai Sadhu Swami Prabhu Ki Jai
Jai.
Saparsha Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai
Jai.
Saparsha Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai
Jai.
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki
Jai.
Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi ki jai,
Jai.
Golkartal ki jai,
Jai.
Hari Sankirtan ki jai,
Jai.
Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Caitanya Charitamrta Mat ki jai, Tadiya Sapa Mat ki jai, Shri Caitanya SCSMission ki jai,
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Srimati Sri Lekha D.D ki jai.
Friends who come for the class.
Gangalila Didi, Bhima Krishna Prabhu,
Jai Prabhu.
Kumkum Didi,
Jai Didi.
Ananya Sundari Didi.
Oh,
Who else? And then some mysterious viewers. Who knows who they are?
Dandavat. Caitanya Charitamrta Prabhu, Jata Bhakti Jan, Nandana Koyami Shabda Charana. Hari Bol.
Haribo, Haribo. Dandavat Didi.